Oh, Grandma Kay. I met her down on Alvera Street. Now, Alvera Street is an old, a Mexican street down in the older part of Los Angeles, which is an old city, and this represents the Mexican influence of that old country down in there. And I saw her one day, and she was modeling for the painter. I can't think of his name now. I'll think of it in a minute. Artist. Down Alvera Street.
That painting we have.
Yeah. All right. And
Elliot.
Who?
Elliot.
That clicks, but that isn't the one I had in mind. But anyway, so we got talking there, and so that's close.
Yes.
Maybe it is. All right.
I think it's Alexander Elliot, I think.
Well, anyway, he was doing a painting for Kay out at her apartment, and she says, "Well, would you like to come out and watch him paint?" I said, "Well, of course I want to see her, not some party." I didn't need him around, but anyway, I went out there, and here she had a nice apartment, and that's when she wrote "My House with a View." I was looking out, she's upstairs, and on the front there was a roof out there, and you could step out her windows and onto the roof there, you see. And she had a chair or two out there, and moonlight nights with Elliot, and she and he would sit there and talk, and he'd go in and then do some, she'd get in her posing chair there, and he'd do a little oil work, see, and that's where you got that House with a View. And that was her poem. But I guess she still has that painting, I don't know.
Is it a really big one?
It's in our home.
We have it.
Oh, yeah, it's a big painting.
Yeah, we have it.
Yeah, that's in our. We have that. It's in our home.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah.
Cool.
Son.
And so I'd kid her. You tell Kay this. I'd call her up, and she said, "Well, come on over." And the artist is here. And I said, "Oh, I can put up with him."
What is this?
So I'd go over, and she would be posing, and he'd be painting a little, and I could tell they just started painting because he was still fussing around, didn't have it painting right, and it was easy. So I said, "No, we just start painting now?" Oh, he says, no, I'm just getting in the mood now to portray this on oil, you see. So I kidded her about old Elliot there for a while, see. But anyway, that's how I met her, and so we finally, well, I don't know, somehow decided to get married. But I met her down Alvera Street, and that's the famous old Mexican town down there. He's still there, still famous. I lived there for some years, and where I met Edgar Bergen. He saw me. I was helping there was a puppet troupe down there, puppeteers, and so I got to know them, and I volunteered to help them do plastic work. They showed me how to use the plastic wood, you see. Okay, I fell in love with plastic wood. So I'd be there and help them make their characters. They had little plastic puppets about yay high, you see, and doing all the manipulation on the stage. And had, over here in the puppet in the front, it was very popular. And that's where I met Edgar Bergen. And that's where I did the work for him.
See, now, I'm not sure if they may not know Edgar Bergen, but when I was a child, he was on television with his puppets, and Mortimer Schnurd was one of his two main puppets were Charlie McCarthy and Mortimer Schnurd. And we have at home, he did the first cast of Mortimer Schnurd, and we have it at home. It really ought to be in a museum or something.
Did I give you that red wig?
The red wig, I don't know. It's just the cast of Mortimer Schnurd. I don't know about the red wig. He just went in. We're talking about Mortimer Schnurd, and he asked me if I had the red wig he got. He just goes in and gets this, and apparently he would put this on. In fact, we'll have to have you do your Mortimer Schnurd imitation. He does a good imitation. But when he brought this out, everybody laughed because I wear one just like this every year at Halloween. I put it on, and I wear it to work. Everybody else at work is very serious. No one does anything at Halloween. And I wear this, and I wear it all day, every year at Halloween. And so, how about that?
Imagine that.
Can you imagine that? But now you have to do a little of your. I don't know if you want to put that on or.
No. Yeah, I'll put it on for you. Put it on for you.
Yeah,
I can take the thing.
Well, I'll switch over here.
I can
I
take
can't.
it.
Mom.
I lost all feeling. Was that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's looking good.
Well, you guys must think I'm kind of crazy, you know. You look at me, because I'm Mortimer Schnurd, you know. You think it's kind of a crazy name. But hey, you see that banana boat down there at the dock? We see all them bananas on that boat? Well, man, them bananas are all mine, and that boat is all mine. You think I'm crazy? Look who's talking, see? Mortimer.
That's very much like Mortimer's voice he's doing.
I could be better than. But anyway, that's all that stuff. I'm not crazy. All that is all mine, no Mortimer.
Hey, very good. Thank you. Thank you.
You got Mortimer Schnurd right there. You see.
Oh, that's amazing. Anyway, but so he did some of the original molding for the face for Mortimer Schnurd, and then you said it was taken and they carved him out of wood, real wood.
Plastic wood. Oh yeah, the
Virginia.
took the model I made. See now that the one you have was the first casting.
Right.
Okay, now I put that back and recast, and then Virginia changed it.
And what was her name? Virginia
Austin.
Austin, that's right.
Yeah, with Austin Studios. She got very successful in New York, making all these miniatures, which I made first. You see, the casting, and she could not keep up with her business selling these miniatures, little puppet things. She couldn't. She's very, very successful.
Oh.
But back.
Hey, please, sure.
Back. Oh yeah. Anyway, that's where I got started with Bergen there. You see, and then Mortimer and.
Oh, that's neat.
Well,
So let's see. You lived. Yeah. Since we have the camera
Tell
on.
us about the 1920s.
Well, wait a minute.
Tell us what
So.
wars you were in.
Pardon?
Were you in any war?
Oh yeah, that's what's the matter with me. I was an explosion in Fort Knox, Kentucky, in 43. That's 43. That's what's the matter with me. I'm shocked, still shocked. And I have tendonitis, which is my eardrums were burst. They didn't burst, but they were so stretched out of proportion without bursting. You see, if it burst, I'd have been deaf. But they were all out of proportion. So I've been disabled these 55 years. You see, lost my family, and Kate took the. When I was discharged with tendonitis, it just says, wound and blah, 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 and just turned me loose in Fort Meade, Maryland. Well, I had no idea that I was half crazy. And when I got home, Kate couldn't, I was yelling at her, and I couldn't sleep in bed. You see, I couldn't straighten out in a bed. And I couldn't sleep in bed, and Kate says, "You don't love me." Said, "I want to see you, and I want to sleep with you. We can play together, have fun together." And I says, "Kay, I cannot. My back is injured, and I cannot stretch out. And to this day, I have not slept in a bed all these years. Something my back did." But anyway,
So what war was that?
in
Second World War.
The Second World War.
Did you ever go before the explosion? Did you ever fight?
Oh no! I was a academy, tanks. I'm a tank commander, tank instructor. I'm gonna bet on that one too. That's what broke me down. This explosion with a landmine accidentally. I had a class out, and a dummy landmine down in a cavity about 4 feet deep, tapered up, you see. And I had trip wires, the push, pull, and the trip, you see, the pressure. And those set off the landmines. Those dirty things are all over the world now. You see, you hear about landmines, border lines, filthy things. Anyway, somehow in my maneuvering around, I tripped on one of the wires, push or pull or whatever. And the landmine, it was not a real landmine, it was a dummy nitrous starch, is what it was, a pound of nitrous starch, which is high explosive, but it requires a dynamite cap in it. See, it has a little hollow in it. And that was down in a hole behind me, about 10 feet or so, but it was down in the cavity. But when this thing went off, I tripped it somehow. Behind me, I was bent over like that, luckily, and it blew me down on my neck and my head, but bending over, it hit me on the butt here, you see, and pushed me, slammed me to the ground, but the full concussion didn't get to my eardrums, you see, it didn't burst them, just bent them all out of line. And your ear, your balance wheels, everything is right in here. If you don't know it, if you do it, right in your ears. Your balance, whatever, it lets you know immediately when you're off balance, is right up in here. Anyway, I lost my balance then, and, well, I said that, and I was never the same, and I didn't know it was blah, blah. And when I came home, Kay says, I'm going home. Had a nice home in Downey, and so forth. And so I said, I'm coming out. I'm not going to leave here. She said, how have you put out? I said, my own home. I was insulted, of course. And she had to get a restraining order, and I couldn't go back to my home. So that did it. I was really crazy then. So I discovered John Barleycorn. Was nipping on that bottle like crazy, and that didn't help anything. But I never, Kay had the house, she sold that and everything, and then moved up to the Salt Lake. So that was the last of my romance with dear Kay. And
did you?
Pardon?
So did you marry again though?
Oh no. Oh no, I couldn't. When I realized that, oh no, I checked in out at the Veterans Hospital and started taking treatments and so forth. But there's not much you can do about it when your head's about half. I mean, eardrums are just about gone, you see. But they keep me a while and then turned me loose again.
Did you live, I'm not sure where you lived before. I know the little house in Downey.
Downey, that was a home.
Was that like your first home when you got married, or was there a home before that?
No, that was the first home.
Okay.
But later on, I had that's another story. When this young lady I met at work found out that I was in a rooming house, she and her mother lived out in Hollywood. I think that's what you bring here, out in Hollywood. And she said, well, I have an extra room. You can come live with me and my mother and I, whatever, and help pay the rent. I said, hey, good deal. And her mother was home cooking, you see. You can't beat that with a stick. So that's when you met there, whoever said. Then I moved up to Hollywood there with this young lady. And her mother, we were working at the same place then. I was machinist then, and this, what did they do? He made silver gadgets, Indian jewelry at that time.
Oh, Ed Sanford.
Ed Sanford, it was Ed. And that's where I met Ed. And when he found out I was a machinist, well, boy, I made all those
That's
beautiful
right.
things for Ed Sanford.
Hey, now tell us the different jobs you've had then at the. I mean, remember you're a machinist at Hughes. So you were a machinist at Hughes before you went, and then, before you worked for Ed Sanford.
Oh, no, wait a minute. That's when it's confusing, John. Jumping and skipping time like that. It's all rolled up into one mixed up ball of wax. And
but that sounds right. I think
well,
you're.
right there, they were close together.
About how long were you machinist for Ed Sanford making the jewelry?
Oh, several years. Oh, yeah. He was in Hollywood first. And I made little models for him, little molds and so forth. Then I carved them, I etched them in steel, you see, and the machine etching, of course, has to be deal. In Hollywood there. Then Ed got real ambitious and built a big shop out in the southern part of Los Angeles. Out in there, you see, was a big deal with Ed. And so I went out there with Ed too. And
so this
enlarged it. And
this would have been after. I'm trying to get it straight too. This would be after Kay left, I bet, right?
oh, wait a minute.
Or is this before?
No, it was before.
Okay.
Because Kay got mad at Ed.
See, this
Ed,
is the Ed Sanford that married Mom's sister, Joanne. This is Joe Sanford's dad he's talking about.
Oh, Kay.
We almost saw Joe Sanford, his son Joe. We didn't have time, but he's my cousin, and I see him sometimes. He's come to visit us sometimes.
Well, here's what happened at Ed Sanford. Now, Kay was with him there, private secretary and all that good stuff. And Ed got some wild hair, and in a little place there, part of a desk, he put a listening system. What am I saying?
Intercom?
Intercom, and was taping the conversations. And Kay didn't want any part of that. And Ed was keeping these conversations, picking out how he wanted to keep what and that. And Kay was supposed to type it up, what Ed wanted. See, he's kind of a stool pigeon deal, and Kay told me all about what Ed was doing. In some interview in his office, he was taping it. And Kay wouldn't have any part of that, and that's when they parted ways right there.
Oh, she's never told me that. Okay.
Well, you ask her about it, she would recall it. And she told me all about it. And when I came up to talk to Ed to the main office to watch my language, and Ed was taping it. I said, well, I'm going to call it some of the son of us if I want to, see. So, but anyway, that's the start of their problem. That's when she left.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Well, I'm jumping a lot of time here. Well, in the meantime, we got married, and that did it. Ed didn't like any part of that. John, I'm jumping time around.
Oh, that's okay.
It's confusing, but I'm jumping several years of leap, you see, and it doesn't. But anyway, that's why she left Sanford. Now, she went out 2 or 3 times. I went out one time at Sanford's home, at a beautiful place out in the valley someplace, and Kay wanted to go out and meet Sanford's wife and so forth, which I did. It took twice, I think it was. And then Ed was acting up kind of, big shot. I didn't like that, so I told her I wasn't going back anymore. And so soon after that, she and Sanford parted ways somehow or other.
Right.
But anyway, the basis of it is when he was taping this interviews, and she didn't want any part of that. That started the problem, and that's when they moved out this big home in South Los Angeles, out in there somewhere.
Right.
And he had a beautiful shop there. I put in a big press, and I was making all these big stamp things, cutting out that jewelry just like that, molding.
I remember visiting his big plant when I was young, when he had moved to, what was it called? Had the big U-shaped swimming pool, U-shaped house, excuse me, around the swimming pool. I can almost say where it was. Pacific Palisades. But that was when I was little. That might be many years.
Well, many years, my God. I'm 60, 70. I mean, years old. I was a young man then. I was young.
Right, but anyway,
Had to be.
I remember when I was 2 or 3 years old, we went there the first time.
Yeah. Now that was later on. That was when you. I remember when you went out to visit him. He had that big fancy place out somewhere.
Yeah, Pacific Palisades.
Oh yeah, I know nothing about that.
Yeah, you're talking before that, right? Yeah, sure.
Gotten rid of him or him, me, or something. But no, I didn't want any part of him. He was doing all kinds of shenanigans out there. No, I never saw that, John. But he.
I work at a health store.
Oh.
So I've been working it for almost a year.
What are you doing?
And then I'll probably just work there till my mission, and then I'm going to San Francisco. That's
Gonna
big thing I'm preparing for. Trying to more and more.
Well, wonderful.
It's kind of scary and everything, but I'm excited.
Well, working in a health store, you should accumulate the knowledge, the proper. I've been on the health kick for years and years.
Really?
Oh yeah, and my vitamins and so forth.
Yeah.
That's reading I'm some cockeyed healthy, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm in the microwave. See, I've got all that. Oh, I put the stem fast and all that and everything. All that good stuff.
Yeah, there's some good stuff and some crazy stuff, but yeah, you do learn.
Yeah.
And I'm going into art.
Whatever I might be doing. Well, look at my tinker shop out there. That's my tinker. See all that conglomeration? Well, now I go out there every day, you see, and 2 or 3, 4 times. And if I didn't, my hands would freeze up. But see, they don't do what I'm telling them to. But this left one here, I have to watch it. It'll break up whatever I'm holding, you see. But the right one is pretty good. But I get out there and do something every day. I work over there.
Oh, that's
all
good.
That goodies, all that stuff. Well, now I like all that just the way it is. Because now it looks messy to you, maybe. But hell, I know what's in that stack. So. But
That's good. That's good. Yeah, that you go out and use. Yeah, he's got a little kind of machine shop here and lots of little tools and things. And
out in the back there had a little.
He's got his whole place there, and that's good if you use that every day. That would keep you.
I'm every day, John.
Because I'm trying to figure out why you're so healthy and doing so well. But
I know that trick.
You got it. That's right. That is the trick. You keep living.
Keep living.
Oh, that's Jimmy. That's my brother Jimmy. Oh, we should.
Uncle Jim.
That's Jimmy. Where do you guys get?
I got a little basket over there with all, and I didn't care for the.
There's a picture of Jimmy.
Sweater and so forth. But now they went on the 30 brothers' consent on the 30-day tour around the world.
Awesome.
At $100 a day, 3,000. So we were all over. Constantinople, all the Mediterranean, the Korea, Seoul. Oh yeah. Now I'll tell you something that you don't know, and you would never guess. Vietnam and all that war and all that stuff. You see. They weren't dirty communists.
Look at this picture, Dad.
All that dirty communist stuff. He's the one that.
Okay, this is Paul and Betty Medearis with Jimmy and Johnny, my brother and myself, and that's in front of our apartment at 305 First Avenue, and that's when they came to visit. But this is your uncle. That's your Uncle Paul, and that is who I'm named.
I had forgotten I wrote that.
That's who I'm named after.
Yeah.
This is a picture of Beth in 1952 in Inglewood, California.
Yes, I was with you.
Okay, this is a picture of Jimmy in July of 1944.
Inspiring English
Uh,
Well, hey, it's history.
so Jimmy, July
See that
1944.
picture, that-
This is Jimmy
Oh, my.
and with the little goat in their backyard at Downey on May 24th. I think they said 44. There's a picture of. Oh, there's a picture of Frank in that coat and hat that he's given me.
You're looking good.
Okay, this one, if you see, it says me with him on the
Oh,
left.
this is a big.
This is called roughnecking
Nice.
in the 30s out on the oil rig.
Good.
And there he is.
That's great.
This is a picture of us when we came in 1984.
Oh, a perfect game.
What's your best score?
Oh, 299.
Anyway, I just said it. This is 1984 when we came by, and that's when we first came all by together. Ruth and I had been by earlier.
See records?
This is carved with a soldering.
Yes.
I mean, with a iron.
Was it?
Okay, here is a picture of Frank when he's whatever age you can see, Matt.
Looks like 3.
It's taken in Seymour, Texas, and he was born on May 17th, 1911. And his mother, Odessa Jones Medearis, wrote on the back of this, but didn't put the date it was taken. But there he is, little Frank in high button shoes.
It's from Michael Pratt.
Which I requested from her, but I never was able to find about her husband, I mean my dad, and then his family and my mother's family. They had a picture of them in a little Texas town. They were all out on the porch. He was a town mayor, Squire Jones. Squires those days were mayors. And Squire Jones was the mayor, and here's my mother, Odessa Jones, and the Jones boys, Arthur and several there that I've forgotten. And he was the town mayor. Jones.
Of what town?
Seymour, Texas.
Of Seymour, okay.
Sydney, way out in the western.
Oh, so her dad was the squire of the town.
Squire, yeah.
What was his first name?
My Odessa.
No, it's
Seymour. S-E-Y-M-O-U.
No, her dad's
that's his father.
her father's name.
Arthur.
Arthur Jones?
Arthur Orlando. Is that
What's Orlando?
Orlando Jones.
It's his wife?
No, that's my mother's husband's name.
Okay.
Jones boys. Jones and Smith, are all over the world.
Yeah, that's pretty
Name
cool.
on your wedding invitation.
Okay, this is a picture of Frank
No, I
dressed up as a seer and a money raiser for the little theater.
Outside, not on the
And
inside
he
of the group.
he did that.
She was self-conscious. She let herself
This
get
is
fat, luxury
Rose
and all
Medearis'
that.
horse, beautiful Arabian horse with a professional
She's sitting
rider.
on the horse. She rides.
But
Oh, I've got
Rose,
to
of
show
course,
you the-
is his brother Bob's daughter, and Bob just passed away last year, or recently anyway. And we met Rose. Jimmy and I met Rose when we came through many years ago. Okay, this is Paul Medearis, for whom I'm named. This is Uncle Paul. There it is facing the other way. Uncle Paul Medearis, my namesake. There's a picture of the Medearis oil supply calendar for December 1946. It's hard to get these anymore.
Well, I had
Here
no
we are.
idea
Here's
it was
little
that tight.
Kaylee and
My gosh.
Julie. Hi,
First time
Kaylee.
I've seen that.
Say hi.
Oh, no
They're
tears.
amazing.
Oh, no.
Tears, sweetheart.
Amazing things they have today. I can't keep up.
And here we are.
Oh, I
This is
don't
in.
even- Like I told you, I wouldn't touch a computer with a 10-foot pole because I'd get hooked on that.
Oh, my sweetheart, right here.
Wait a minute now.
Jared just asked about genealogy here.
But I don't have that. My mother,
You have it in your mind.
mine is mixed up. Oh well, go ahead.
So tell us. Let's see. Your mother's name,
So Odessa Jones.
Odessa
Jesse
Jones.
Jones. Now, there was somebody. Who's Graham? There was a Graham in there somewhere.
Oh, Rosa Jane Graham
Who's that?
is my grandmother.
On which side?
Pardon?
Rosa Jane Graham is your mother's mother?
No, wait a minute. My father's mother.
Okay.
Over Jane Graham.
Is that
Yeah,
G
that's better.
R? How do we spell
G-R-A-H-A-M.
Graham.
Graham.
Graham, like the graham cracker, huh?
Okay.
The cracker.
Okay. And who is Rosa Jane Graham's husband?
I don't know his name. He was a blacksmith in Seymour, Texas. There's something in the air. His name was R.L. Grimm. He was a blacksmith in Seymour, Texas. Oh God, it's around. Wait a minute now. 19. That's when the last I knew of him. He's my grandmother's husband at that time. But when he died, then she married. No, I think that'll do. I'm mixed up now. Well, go ahead now.
Okay.
Okay, and your father, of course, your father is James Franklin Medearis the first,
Yeah.
and what was his dad's name?
Well, that's the old deal, you know. Oh man, so something snaps in.
Yep.
Frank.
Oh, that's fine.
Yes, it is.
And so, we have Portuguese roots, ancestors from Portugal.
He always said we're from the Portuguese pirates. I remember that.
Yeah. Well, now, my grandmother, Rosa, she was a Portuguese. But now he died, her husband died, before I was even born, you see, somewhere back in there. We're talking about ancient age.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, Frank was in there somewhere. I mean, his dad, Franklin.
His dad's dad is Franklin?
So I think I've carried the name Franklin all the way through, C.J. Franklin.
Here's one. Let's do one closer. Let's see what I remember. Of your brothers and sisters, it's an older brother, Bob.
No, I'm the oldest.
Okay, you're the oldest.
Bob was the youngest.
Bob's the youngest. And then Frankie is your sister.
Is a middle sister. I talked to her yesterday in Hawaii. She's still alive.
Okay, she's in Hawaii.
No, wait a minute. That's Jeannie. Excuse me. No, Frankie's been dead some years now.
Yeah, Jeannie's her daughter, right?
Jeannie is her daughter. See,
yeah, Frankie's daughter is Jeannie.
Stuff confused, see.
Right.
Okay.
Jeannie's in Hawaii. I remember that.
Alrighty.
And Bob's children are Rose.
Rosa. And Rosa, my niece. Yeah.
Rose is your niece. Now, are there other brothers and sisters, or is it just Bob and Frankie?
It's Bob and Frankie.
Okay, so the three children.
Yes, 3 children. And yeah, that's it. And they're both dead now, Frankie and
Bob.
Bob just died a year ago. He was a flyer in the War II.
And see, Bob's wife's name was what?
Charlene.
Charlene.
Uh-huh.
Bob and Charlene.
Charlene is over in Santa Barbara.
Oh, Charlene's still alive?
Yeah, she's still alive.
Okay.
She's well, I know she's around 90, so I don't know for sure. But we were laughing about why are we still alive and getting a laugh out of it. But Charlene she made off with most of the capital of Medearis. She kept most of it somewhere. Here.
About the French. We married into
Oh, and the
some French.
Portuguese. That's somewhere. My grandmother told me once to do that, but I don't know any particulars.
The general, we're from. We got some French blood.
That's the mixture. Yeah, came in somewhere. It mixed it with the Portuguese, and it was French. That's the reason the spelling changed. Whether they was part of it, they didn't know how to spell. I don't know, but they are Medearises all around. I mean, scattered around, like I spell it. See. But then the other, there's a Medearis in the park here. He's a park boy. Medeiros.
Huh.
Mitch Medearis. We kid each other. He calls me a wop or something or other, or whatever, a misfit. But Mitch Medearis is the park boss here. Now that's a small world, isn't it? But anyway, he knows my history and how my name was changed and so forth. Mitch, me all over Texas, they're old Joneses and Smiths. But the Jones people, I think they're all over Texas. But Grandpa was the mayor. Squire had a long beard. I remember that. I used to play with his beard. He'd let me sit on his lap and he'd feed me at the table. I remember that.
Isn't Jones pretty much a English name?
I guess so.
I
I don't know for
I
sure.
can't quite remember, but
Yeah.
sounds pretty English.
But Squire, I used to play with Squire's beard.
So remind me where your parents, you told us this before and I've forgotten, where your parents, where they were when they were little, where they grew up.
In Seymour, Texas.
Okay, so they grew up in Seymour.
In Seymour, yes, they went
And
to
so
school.
there, and you're born
school
there.
Together, and I was born in Seymour, and then shortly after, 5 years old, we moved to Oklahoma.
Went to Oklahoma.
I just went to the kindergarten. I remember that, and I have my kindergarten report card somewhere. And then we moved up to Oklahoma, and I was 6 years old.
And then you stayed in Oklahoma until what, sophomore in high school?
Sophomore until 27. Moved to Sherman, Texas in 27, and graduated in 1928.
From Sherman, Texas.
Sherman,
So your junior and senior years. He was saying earlier, I don't think we recorded that he probably would have been on the football team back in Oklahoma, but when he moved to Texas, they had a really good team, and he
had a championship team, and I knew I didn't have a chance. I went out to football practice. That's the first time out, but I knew they had a champion, and they were all there. But anyway, I stuck in there, and I was a tackling dummy, and went through all the maneuvers.
Yeah, he said he was the attacking dummy, was his position.
Yeah, but I learned a lot. But anyway, I knew I didn't have a chance, but I went out anyway. See, Dad came down to the field, see what I could do.
And then, okay, so let's take it from, so now you're out of high school, and so between high school and when you met Kay, tell us a little bit about those years.
Well, I graduated high school in 28 and came to California just very shortly. I was 18 years old, and Dad loaned me $20, and three more boys and myself pooled our money and came to California in 19. What did I say? 20.
Yeah, 28.
27.
20.
I'm 28. See, after graduating from high school, and then everything.
Why did you come to California?
Well, everybody had heard about the Golden California and the famous California, and so we were kind of a club deal there. So we decided to put up some money. So we all got a little money and came to California because I had an Uncle Paul in Bakersfield, and I talked to Uncle Paul, and he said, "Yeah, come on out." So the four of us.
And he was already in the oil.
He was a salesman for an oil company.
Salesman for an oil company.
For an oil company, yeah. So
Tell-
in Bakersfield.
So tell us how the company got started Wasn't it he that started? We only have about
Oh.
a minute on this tape, and it's going to stop, I'm afraid.
Oh, all right.
About how he started the oil supply business.
Oh, well, he was working for a supply company, selling tools and supplies in Bakersfield in, what did I say, 27 or 8, 29, I guess. And so I came up to live with Uncle Paul, and so that's where I learned about the oil fields then. But he formed his company later on. He found a friend down in Los Angeles that had a few $1,000s, so he and Paul got together and formed Medearis supply company.
And you worked there for many years.
Yeah, I worked for them later on. See, after I wanted to go to college. I wanted to be a geologist in Bakersfield, and this was in 1932. 32, yeah. Okay.
Remind me what happened. We're almost going to stop here. What happened to your hopes to become a geologist?
The OPEC formed, the oil producing exporting countries, formed this pool of the great Arabian oil fields, and that immediately the greedy oil people shut down the production in Bakersfield and all over, and joined OPEC, where they get this cheap Arabian oil, and the government would buy that. So my education, I had to quit school.
Oh, okay.
I was going to be a geologist up at Stanford. I was going to go 6 months at Menlo. Menlo is a junior college just off the Stanford campus. Now I was going to go up there. Shell people were going to
Shell was going to pay for it.
recommend me to Menlo Junior College. So all I had to do was go up there and play 6 months or whatever, which I could have done easily with Menlo, and then next year go to Stanford and for my geology, and then later anthropology. I want to see how the people lived in the geology time, and I was cursed when the OPEC opened and they shut down the little pumpers and so forth. That was my uncle's business. This supply business is all the pumping wells were running out of this and that, and we had that business. But
And does that pretty much take you up to around? You met my mother in around 38.
Oh no, this is still in Bakersfield.
That's in Bakersfield.
I came down later on, just a couple of years later. That's when I moved to Olivera Street.
Yeah, okay. Then you moved to Olivera Street. And what were you doing on Olivera Street?
I was helping the puppeteers.
Okay, so you were helping the puppeteers down there, and that's when you met Kay.
People came from miles to the puppet show.
In case this shuts down now, we've just come in full circle. Okay, go ahead.
I learned how to use plastic wood with the puppeteers
Right.
back there, and I learned the tricks, and so I was helping them mold, and so that's where I learned the trick of modeling the clay mold, the
plastic wood.
Plastic wood.
Okay, hey, that's great. We really appreciate
Well, that's where I learned the trick.
telling
there.
us all this. We get
And
it all
that's
together.
where I
here.
met Bergen and so forth. Yeah, the red light's blinking up here, I see.
Yeah, I think it's
get
going to
the
shut
figure
down
out.
now. I'm running the battery right to the bottom here, but hey, that's been great. Thanks so much.
Well, that's where I met.
I'm videoing you. Let's have a smile, Mary. Can you look this way, Mary? She can. Hey, all right. We're just winding up here. So anyway, and there's Kaylee. We got to get Kaylee in. Anyway, and there's Papa Frank here, and my father, and there's the gang. So it's been fun visiting up at Kachuma Lake. Here's the address, Lakeview 60. Mom, can you move it? I can get the oil well here too. Joe, and there's the oil well out in front. This is a 1/20th scale model. It's 5 feet tall. The original was 100 feet tall, and this is going to be put in the which museum?
Bakersfield Oil Museum.
Bakersfield Oil Museum. So you can come see it later on there, but you saw it first here. Right here at Lakeview 60 at Kachuma Lake. Okay. Bye-bye.